the Transformers is different because, of course, the toys were already created in Japan,
Right.
and Hasbro just licensed the technology.
Yeah.
And but still, they didn't have any backstory. They didn't have any American names for the characters, and the powers and stuff were not defined. The way that happened is Hasbro exec Bob Frupas comes into my office, he's got a shopping thing, takes out a car, puts it on my desk. I said, well, that's cool. He said, watch, flip, 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 it's a robot. Flip, 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 it's a car. I said, why does it do that? He said, that's what I'm here to find out.
Hey, Optimus, how'd you like to hear #1 on the Decepticon Hot Cassette Charts?
As I believe the Earthlings say, lay it on me, man.
You got it.
Jazz loves Earth culture. Always looking to learn more, his knowledge of Earth makes him the indispensable right-hand man to Optimus Prime. Jazz takes the most dangerous missions, all the while being very cool, very stylish, and very competent. He is equipped with a photon rifle, flamethrower, full-spectrum beacon, and 180 decibel stereo speakers. Jazz creates dazzling, disorienting sound and light shows. He is versatile, clever, daring, but Jazz is also prone to being distracted. Transforming into a Porsche 935, and detailed exactly after the real-life car that won the 1976 World Sports Car Championship, including its sponsorship logo for Martini, the original toy that would later become Jazz was first released in 1983's Diaclone line from Japan. He would go on to be imported by Hasbro into the first year of Transformers in 1984. Jazz was immediately one of the most popular characters in toy sales as well as on screen, in no small part to his stylish fun car mode, and his charismatic cool voice, provided by actor-musician Scotsman Crothers.
Into the ocean, let's be daring. The last one in is a rusty herring.
That's where we come in.
I am the only one capable of deciphering Cosmos' data.
And me, I just like kicking Decepticon cans.
First appearing in the pilot episode, Jazz is seen as Optimus Prime's right-hand bot, a job that would later shift over to Prowl. Along with Wheeljack and Bumblebee, Jazz has the distinction of being one of 3 original Autobots who were seen transforming into different vehicle modes before leaving Cybertron in the pilot. In recent years, all 3 characters have received new figures transforming into these modes. Over the first 2 seasons of the original series, Jazz was often featured in many adventures. First seen rescuing humans and Autobots alike with his grapple hook and cable, a feature added to newer figures. Later, Jazz would be part of various away missions and battles, often keeping it cool in the face of opposition, and beguiling his enemies with his light and sound capabilities. Although his first toy was discontinued in 1986, Jazz was one of 3 original Autobots seen surviving the ending of Transformers the movie in the summer of 1986. Which is a harrowing feat considering he, Cliffjumper, and Bumblebee were all ingested by the monster planet Unicron while serving on Cybertron's 2 moon bases. All 3, as well as Spike Witwicky, would be rescued by his son Daniel in the final act of the film. Scotsman Crothers passed away in November of 1986, as the final episodes of the 3rd season would be airing. Although his voice would not be heard again after the 2nd season, Jazz would continue to make cameo appearances in the 3rd season, as well as in the Japanese sequel series, The Headmasters. After the cancellation of the original American series, Jazz's continued popularity would allow him to receive several new toy releases in Generation 1 and beyond.
Well everyone, we're back once again. And since I last left you, I have turned 50 years old. And in the spirit of feeling incredibly old, I decided it was time to cut my hair. And it turns out I'm still old, but at least I don't have a rat's nest on my head anymore. Now, I do need to acknowledge the soundbite at the beginning of this video that I used from Jim Shooter, RIP. That comes from an interview done by another YouTuber by the name of Rodimus Primal. And if you follow my channel and you haven't followed his, you should check him out because he's got a lot of great material. Now, enough about plugging other people's good work. We're here to talk about this episode of Transformers, which deals heavily with religious cynicism and religious freedom. And as a child who grew up Catholic and had a lot of questions of his own, well, why don't I just sum up my feelings using a clip from one of my favorites and, let's be honest, the greatest comedian of all time.
I used to be Irish Catholic, now I'm an American. You know, you grow. Once a week, Father Russell would come in for heavy mystery time. And you'd save all your weird questions for Father Russell. In fact, you'd make up strange questions. You'd take a whole week thinking up trick questions to Father Russell.
Hey, Father! Hey, if God is all-powerful, can he make a rock so big that he himself can't lift it? Hey! We got him now!
Let's get down to business and talk about another great episode of Transformers. This is Season 2, Episode 35, The God Gambit.
Our story begins on Saturn's moon of Titan, where religious fervor outweighs common sense and the basic decency that religion teaches. Wow, talk about science fiction.
Hurry, they're almost here!
Here we meet Jiro, religious leader, political charlatan, and galactic-class prick. Through religious manipulation, he manages to oppress his people with blind faith.
Behold the Sky God! Look ye on his might and despair! He demands your harvest offerings!
In fact, some of you may be aware of my more famous tips from the past. How to get rid of counterfeit money? Put it in the collection plate at church. See how often the simple solution will elude us.
Call this an offering?
Please, my family starves.
The Sky Gods will show no mercy!
Follow me!
Enter sexy alien rebel, Talaria, girl boss supreme, and major thorn in Jiro's balls.
Jaro, your sky gods are an excuse for high taxes and harsh laws.
Damn, based.
You will be punished for your blasphemy, Talaria.
Try your superstitious drivel elsewhere, Jaro. I believe in reason and common sense. There are no sky gods.
As Homegirl drops killer truth bombs, a great chase takes place in the rings of Saturn above.
Yo! Cosmos to Autobot base!
Come in, Optimus Prime! I got energy data on my tapes and Astro Train on my tail!
The Decepticons will do anything to gain access to that information.
Cosmos, beam us the data.
Too dangerous, Prime. Don't, Cosmos. If the Decepticons intercept it.
Read your red alert!
With exposition clearly established, Cosmos accepts his dire situation. Despite Astro Train's low energy reserves, he manages to gun Cosmos down, sending him in a death spiral to the lunar surface below.
Ionic blast!
Cosmos, come in!
The Sky Gods are real! They reward us for our sacrifices!
How? By keeping us in a land where food is scarce and children starve?
The Sky Gods forbid us to move to another land. That's why the chasms were formed.
They forbid? Or you forbid, Jaro? Show me a sky god, so I may ask him.
This is the part where Talaria learns about cruel irony.
It appears the Sky Gods have deigned to answer your challenge, Talaria.
Decepticons arrive in search of Cosmos, as Jaro turns the situation to his favor once again.
Behold the Sky God!
Having seen Return of the Jedi, Astro Train forms a plan.
These fools worship Transformers. If I claim to be their supreme god, they will bow to the Decepticons. Why should you be the supreme god? I'm a much better choice. Quiet, Starscream. I've got a coronation to attend.
That's a good combination. Organized religion and organized crime working together to help build a better America.
You'll need more than this to convince me.
How about the 320 train to Baltimore? Is that a sign?
I am Astrotrain, mightiest of all the gods. Fall down and worship your new master, worms. From this day forward, all who defy me, die!
Only good can come from this.
Prop up that hunk of junk there.
Why do we do all the work?
The Decepticons use Cosmos' inert body as an idol for the people to worship.
Here is Cosmo's precious energy data. And here is what immobilized him. What a pity, Cosmos. Reconnect one little wire, and you can call for help.
Critical information that was spoken too loud.
Your energy chasing Cosmos. Better call Megatron.
No! I am in control here.
Talaria reconnects the wire in order to have a Zoom call with Optimus Prime.
Cosmos, what happened? We've been trying to reach you for hours.
The one you called Cosmos is hurt.
Quickly, what planet are you on?
Planet? I don't know the word.
She says in perfect English.
See a glowing red light. Touch it and you'll send a signal beacon. We'll do the rest.
She has led the Autobots here, but they will not find her alive.
Never before have I found myself so attracted to an animated woman with such hairy shoulders. Nor will I ever be again. But that's not the point. I recently picked up the Age of Prime's release of Jazz, and I wanted to point out, without knowing it, I didn't realize that it was the exact same figure as the Studio Series 86 Jazz, which I already owned. So if you have that one and you don't want to buy the same figure twice, just keep your eye out. But if you're somebody who likes to collect them all in different boxes, it's your money to spend. However, I do know that there is a third release of this Jazz that comes in a 2-pack with 86 Optimus Prime, and even though it's the same mold as these other two releases, this version has his red and blue racing stripes on his back wheel wells. With that, why don't we talk a little more about the character himself?
Jazz was featured in an early exclusive story in UK Marvel Comics, The Man of Iron, an eerie tale mostly told from the human's point of view. Jazz finds himself forced to abduct English boy Sammy, who has vital information involving an ancient transformer that came to Earth in medieval times, in search of the Autobots after their crash in the distant past. In the final issue of the original 4-part miniseries, Jazz was responsible for an accident resulting in Sparkplug Witwicky experiencing cardiac arrest after a serious argument between allies got too far out of hand. This incident would lead to the comic book version of Sparkplug spending the remainder of the series trying to keep his son away from the Autobot conflict. On the lighter side, Jazz is seen being brought back online after he and his fellow Autobots were prisoners to Shockwave, held in stasis for some time.
Can't say what I'm doing here, but I hope to see much clearer after living in the material world.
He would later go on to broker a peaceful relationship with tech and energy billionaire CEO G.B. Blackrock in order to gain the Autobots a reliable supply of fuel in exchange for Cybertronian technology. Jazz was also one of several Autobots shortly thereafter taken offline by an evil duplicate of Optimus Prime. Later, in further exclusive UK stories, he was revived by Galvatron and used as a mindless warrior. He would then be taken offline again by Starscream during the Underbase saga. Jazz returned to toy shelves in 1989 as part of the Bizarre Pretenders line, where he and other classic characters would hide inside human-sized body shells. How or why this makes sense? Don't ask me, I don't care. However, many fans have been openly vocal in their criticism of Jazz being represented as a Caucasian human. This figure's release allowed Jazz and his comrades to return to the pages of Marvel Comics, having been repaired and revived by Ratchet. The following year, Jazz would receive a non-transforming Action Master figure, It would include a turbo board accessory that would transform into a weapon as well. Australian and European markets would see a re-release of his original mold in the Transformers Classics line. He would then be released again in Generation 2 in 1993 with new decor and accessories, along with appearances in Generation 2 comics. An unreleased motorcycle version of Jazz in green and yellow was planned for 1995, but ultimately scrapped. The early 2000s saw a revival in the popularity of Transformers, and even with Porsche's refusal to allow their trademark design to continue, new Jazz figures have always maintained a consistency in look and character that few others could ever boast. In the 2007 live-action film, Jazz took the form of a Pontiac Solstice, and he spoke this line.
What's cracking, little bitches?
My first lieutenant. Designation Jazz.
This looks like a cool place to kick it.
Ah, classic cinema. Later, he would be killed by Megatron as he was ripped in half. Even though his brain and spark were still intact. Fine, whatever, I don't care. After the day is won, Optimus Prime would parade around carrying his severed corpse. To honor his memory, you see.
We lost a great comrade.
2008 would bring Jazz to Transformers Animated as a laser nunchuck-wielding member of the Autobot Elite Guard.
Impressive. I guess you never got that far in your cyber ninja training. Well, I have been itching to give my new wheels a spin. Besides, any species that could come up with a sweet ride like this can't be all bad.
Voiced by comedian Phil Lamar, known for Futurama, Family Guy, Mad TV, and oh yeah, he had a very important cameo in Pulp Fiction.
Marvin, what do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped?
As a helpful, laid-back bot, Jazz found himself coming to the aid of Autobot Prowl in his quest for inner peace. Later stories would have shown him coming to Earth and joining Optimus's crew full-time had the show not been cancelled. Jazz was featured in the Aligned Continuity's original novel, Exodus, where he was portrayed as Orion Pax's best friend before the war, and before Orion became Optimus Prime. This story would tie into his appearances in 2010's War for Cybertron video game, as well as the 2012 sequel, The Fall of Cybertron. This version of Jazz would later receive a figure in the Transformers Generations line, and would also appear again in the toy line and cartoon for Robots in Disguise. A shocking story in IDW Comics would show Jazz making the difficult choice to take the life of a human police officer, who otherwise would have used a Cybertronian weapon to murder Bumblebee. Jazz's path forward after that would be very difficult, with him as a reoccurring target of G.I. Joe. He would later go rogue, working with humans to round up all illegal Cybertronian technology on Earth. And he has even seen the release of a Studio Series 86 figure, closely accurate to his animation appearance in Transformers the movie. Early in Transformers 1, Jazz is seen being saved by a brave young Orion Pax before either of them would receive their transformation cogs. Whether it's his classic look, his laid-back style, or the memorable sound of his voice, Autobot Jazz remains one of the most beloved and revisited classic characters of all. We now return to a sexy alien chick on the run. Cosmos awakens long enough to fire a single shot, allowing Talaria to escape. Soon after, Astro Train puts him back out of commission. Back on Earth, the Autobots prepare a rescue party to go after Cosmos.
To reach Titan, energy output 97%. Once there, transformation impossible.
That's why 2 Autobots will ride with you, to rescue Cosmos and find energy for you. I will be one of them, and...
Hold it, Optimus. We can't risk losing you.
That's where we come in.
I am the only one capable of deciphering Cosmos' data.
And me, I just like kicking Decepticon cans.
Talk excessive. Time limited.
And with that, our trio of heroes are off to the moon of Titan. Meanwhile, the Decepticons learn of the moon's vast natural resources.
Look at this! I've never seen crystals so rich in energy! A perfect power source for Decepticons!
This must be what Cosmos discovered.
Low on vital energy, Omega Supreme makes a rough landing.
What is your energy reserve status, Omega Supreme?
Dwindling. Crash. Inevitable.
Wow, you stopped just in time.
Indeed. Another meter or so and we'd have perished.
We'll find Cosmos and his energy source, then come back for you. Just don't move.
Sarcasm not appreciated. Situation critical.
As the Decepticons make their new slaves harvest energy crystals, Perceptor and Jazz have an unlikely encounter in the wild.
We've been searching for hours.
Not the slightest sign of Cosmos. But there is a native in that tree shooting arrows at us.
And don't worry, we'll talk about the flight path and perspective of these arrows in due time. Trust me on that.
Titans will not worship false gods.
False gods?
To hazard a guess, the Decepticons arrived before we did.
Look, if you stop shooting and start talking, maybe we could work something out.
Utilizing more common sense than the average modern-day American, our heroes choose cooperation over conflict.
There he is.
This is terrible.
Cosmos has been in worse predicaments.
No, I mean worshiping him like he's some kind of god. We're not gods, we're just fancy machines, Stellaria.
Why does this episode make more sense than the years of catechism class that I was forced to sit through as a child? As the Decepticons return to the temple, they find their enemies ready for them.
There's two of them. I'd better warn Astro Train.
Thrust runs to tell Mom.
Astro Train! Autobots! They're trying to rescue Cosmos!
Hold on! I'm on your side!
Using unstable crystals as weapons, the disciples attack Jazz and Perceptor, driving them off. No! Leaving Talaria in a dire situation.
A heretic. What more fitting end than to be sacrificed?
Well, we can't go any further discussing the character Jazz if we don't acknowledge Scotsman Crothers, the very talented man that was behind his voice. I have made another voice actor spotlight video in regards to his career that I hope you'll check out, as it is available now. And this one was a little bit of a journey for me. I've always known Scatman to be a character in multiple cartoons that I knew of, and I know that he had made appearances in some films that I knew, but I didn't realize that he went all the way back to the American jazz scene of the 1940s and 50s. So please check that one out. I do also want to acknowledge that these videos of Leo Watches Transformers, I'm not allowed to monetize. I monetize the ones that I make about people's voice careers or the shorter videos that I release later, but sometimes I have to pick and choose what I can put in there. Some things I get away with and some clips I get a copyright strike for. The first one that I got a copyright strike for was Everybody Wants to Be a Cat from the Aristocats. And I thought maybe Disney would cut me a break because they'd be so busy celebrating the success of all the recent Marvel releases. But another one that stood out to me that I wasn't able to use was a song from the opening credits of a cartoon that I liked as a kid. Scatman Crothers played a character in Hanna-Barbera by the name of Hong Kong Phooey, and he also sang the theme song.
Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye. He's got style, a groovy style, and a vibe that just won't stop. When the going gets rough, he's super tough with a Hong Kong Phooey chop.
Wow, that aged really well. Let's go back to Transformers.
We now return to a Bible-thumping good time on the moon of Titan, as the Decepticons search for their lost foes.
Circle around the volcano and see where they got those crystals. Look at this.
Later, our heroes find the Crystal Cave, leading to vital exposition from a conveniently intelligent character.
Oh, highly unstable crystallized energy.
If the Decepticons rule Titan, they're beating us Autobots. We've got to refuel Omega Supreme.
Don't! set off one crystal and a chain reaction
will blow us all up.
Indeed, we worship you, but all you bring is death and sorrow. You have destroyed our faith. Now destroy us.
Hang on a minute, Jack. We ain't gods and never claimed to be.
But Lord Astrotrain
lied to you.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Electric lava. The same substance as the crystals.
You take some crystals and refuel Omega Supreme. I'm gonna rescue Talaria.
Jazz sets off to save his new friend as Perceptor races to refuel Omega Supreme.
Vibrations terminal.
Things only get more precarious.
Careful.
I'm trying!
Meanwhile, the good people of Titan demonstrate the purity of their faith by preparing to sacrifice one of their own to a higher being that may or may not exist.
Let's sacrifice him to our god! Come on, we did it all the time in the 30s.
Elsewhere, Perceptor and Omega Supreme manage to narrowly avoid certain doom.
Accept our sacrifice, almighty Astrotrain.
Sorry to bust up your revival, but the lady ain't got a heart in it.
Jazz's sudden arrival brings the ceremony to an end. Communion wafers denied. Jazz holds his own until the cavalry can arrive at last. Like all other corrupt religious leaders, the Decepticons escape with zero consequences, and are simply reassigned to another parish.
Lord Astrotrain, who are these false gods?
Being bitter losers, they take a page from Megatron's book. Hey, Megatron's not even in this episode. Neat.
Lord Astrotrain, what about me? Die like the worm you are!
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Astrotrain is boogieing out of here!
As the villains flee, the temple crashes down faster than mass attendance the week after Easter.
Spare us, and we will worship you.
We ain't gods, but we will save you.
Rising to the call of action, our heroes save the innocent worshippers without trampling on their faith.
Gang, boogie on over!
As another fun episode comes to an end, we are reminded that even Transformers understand the importance of religious freedom.
We lost our old home, but thanks to you, we gained a new one.
We have much to be thankful for.
Like no Decepticons to monkey around with your beliefs.
And amen to that.
Another fine episode of Transformers. You know, they say do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but that's not going to stop me from making fun of the many mistakes that I found in this episode. And try to remember, I'm doing the Lord's work here.
Hurry, they're almost here. If the god isn't ready, you'll scrub the temple floor with your tongues.
It's late night mass. Why are you waiting until the last minute? I thought this was important to you, asshole. If this stone statue would fall down so hard that it would shatter, the guy inside would be dead by now. These people have horrific body hair.
Astrotrain, you're running out of energy.
To reach Titan, energy output 97%. Once there, transformation impossible.
I realize Astrotrain and Omega Supreme serve a purpose as people movers that get other characters to new planets, and I appreciate the consistency of them burning through all of their energy on long trips. But why do Autobots and Decepticons alike never plan ahead and bring extra Energon on board with them? The theoretical meteor that killed all the dinosaurs was no bigger than a football. This crash would kill all of them for sure.
These fools worship Transformers. If I claim to be their supreme god, they will bow to the Decepticons.
And just how the fuck does he hear them or understand the situation from where they are? That's miles away.
Cosmos, what happened? We've been trying to reach you for hours.
The one you called Cosmos is hurt.
Quickly, what planet are you on?
Planet? I don't know the word.
I can excuse the idea of a universal translator working on a primitive race that has never met outsiders before, but how can somebody who lives in a place where her people are led in prayer by something called astrologer priest not know what the word planet is, or even the concept of a planet? Like, there's a fucking massive one above you in the sky every day, woman. Astrotrain possesses a very large rifle. He just shot lasers out of his face, though. That's stupid. Once again, Omega Supreme leaves Earth as a rocket, leaving his rocket base behind that makes up the rest of his body. Later, on the moon of Titan, he transforms, and his body is complete.
Situation critical.
It's almost like the writer was looking for a way to ratchet up the tension through a ticking clock of some kind. Arrows in flight don't curve like that. If they're supposed to bounce off of them, then where's the sound effect? She aims directly at them, but from this perspective, she would hit nowhere near them. Oh look, it's ladies' night at the archery range.
A heretic. What more fitting end than to be sacrificed?
Or just kill her. Not only would Jazz and Perceptor already know that these crystals are explosive from earlier, but banging this rock would have killed them all by now. In this one shot, Cosmos is not on the altar. Later in the scene, he is. Whoops.
Well, my friends, we can only pray that they will do better next time. And speaking of next time, come back for the next episode, Make Tracks. And in the meantime, be sure to check out my Scotsman Crothers voice actor video, and I also have another one that I've made that you should check out. It's in regards to the Back to the Future Transformers crossover comic book series, and I did this video in honor of the 40th release of Back to the Future. So, whoever you are, and whatever God you pray to, please like, share, and subscribe, and I do sincerely hope to see you back here for the next episode. Thank you for watching.
Because I got to tell you the truth, folks. I got to tell you the truth. When it comes to bullshit, big time, major league bullshit, you have to stand in awe. In awe of the all-time champion of false promises and exaggerated claims, religion. No contest. No contest. Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day. And the invisible man has a special list of 10 things he does not want you to do. And if you do any of these 10 things, he has a special place full of fire and smoke and burning and torture and anguish where he will send you to live and suffer and burn and choke and scream and cry forever and ever till the end of time. But he loves you. He loves you. He loves you and he needs money. He always needs money. He's all powerful, all perfect, all knowing, and all wise. Somehow, just can't handle money. Religion takes in billions of dollars. They pay no taxes, and they always need a little more. Now, you talk about a good bullshit story. Holy shit.